G'day mates, and welcome back to Aussie Oddities. Today, we're diving into one of the most spine-tingling Australian mysteries, an unexplained phenomenon from the Australian Outback that's been spooking travellers, baffling scientists, and fueling campfire stories for centuries. I'm talking about the legendary Min Min lights, those eerie floating lights that appear out of nowhere in the vast darkness, following travellers for kilometres, playing tricks on the mind, and, according to ancient Aboriginal legends, leading the unwary to their doom. These aren't just any mysterious lights, they're a core part of Australian folklore. If you've never heard of the Min Min lights before, you're in for a treat. And if you have, well, you know just how bizarre and unsettling these outback mysteries can be. Either way, buckle up for Australia's most enduring supernatural mystery. Before we plunge into the darkness, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give the bell a good ding so you don't miss any more weird Australia content. And if you've ever seen something strange like these ghost lights, chuck us a like. Alright, let's get stuck into it. So what exactly are the Min Min lights? Well, that's the million-dollar question about this unexplained phenomenon, isn't it? Witnesses describe them as mysterious lights, floating balls of light, usually white, yellow, or blue, that appear in the remote outback Australia night. They hover silently, sometimes just a few meters off the ground, and can range from the size of a tennis ball to as big as a car. These floating lights are a true outback mystery. But here's where it gets properly weird. These aren't just static lights hanging about in the distance. The Min Min lights are known to move, and not just drift with the wind. They've been reported to approach observers, follow vehicles for dozens of kilometers, change direction suddenly, and even react to sounds or lights as if they're conscious. This interactive behavior fuels the Paranormal Australia theories. While they've been spotted all over Australia's remote regions, the lights are most commonly reported in the Channel Country of Western Queensland outback, particularly around the small outback town of Boulia. In fact, the phenomenon is so common there that Boulia has become known as the capital of the Min Min lights, even building a dedicated Min Min encounter tourist center to celebrate their mysterious local celebrities. The name Min Min itself comes from the old Min Min Hotel, a remote pub and way station that burned down in 1918. Shortly after the hotel's destruction, a stockman reported seeing strange lights rising from the direction of the hotel's ruins. He told his mates back in Boulia, and the name stuck, becoming central to Australian folklore. But make no mistake, the unexplained phenomenon itself is much, much older than that name. Aboriginal legends have described these mysterious lights for thousands of years before European settlement. Since European settlement, there have been thousands of documented sightings by stockmen, drovers, travellers, police officers, pilots, and even scientists. These aren't just tall tales from a few blokes who've had a few too many at the pub, though I'm sure there's been plenty of those too. These are genuine Australian ghost stories for some. No, the Min Min lights have been reported by credible witnesses, including doctors, police officers, and pilots. In 2010, a group of geologists working in the outback reported being followed by the lights for nearly an hour. In 2018, a truck driver captured footage of what he claimed were Min Min lights following his road train for over 20 kilometres along the Plenty Highway. But what makes the Min Min lights truly fascinating isn't just their appearance, it's their behaviour, a key part of these outback mysteries. Unlike most natural light phenomena, the Min Min lights seem to have a mind of their own. And that's what makes these ghost lights so bloody unnerving. Countless witnesses report that the lights appear to follow them. Drivers have watched in their mirrors as the lights trail their vehicles for kilometres through the empty Australian outback. Campers have observed the lights circling their sites throughout the night. Stockmen on horseback have been escorted across paddocks by these silent, glowing companions, a classic outback mystery encounter. One of the most famous accounts comes from a police officer in the 1980s who was driving between Boulia and Winton when he noticed a strange glow in his rearview mirror. Thinking it was another vehicle, he slowed down to let it pass, but the light slowed too. When he sped up, so did the light. This game of cat and mouse with the mysterious lights continued for nearly 40 minutes until the light suddenly shot upward and disappeared. In another case from 2015, a family camping near Longreach reported that a Min light approached their campsite, hovering just a few meters away. When the father shone his torch at it, the light reacted by pulsing brighter before darting away at incredible speed. Even more bizarrely, some witnesses claim the lights seem to respond to sound. There are accounts of the lights appearing when people call out, whistle, or play music in remote areas. A group of geologists in 2010 reported that when they shouted at a Min light, it appeared to bounce in response. This interactive element fuels the Paranormal Australia debate. But perhaps the most disturbing behavior is what Aboriginal legends have warned about for generations: the light's tendency to lead people astray. Long before European settlers arrived with their scientific instruments and cameras, Aboriginal Australians knew all about these mysterious lights. And their traditional stories, part of rich Australian folklore, are enough to make your hair stand on end. In many Aboriginal traditions, the Min lights are considered to be spirits, and not always friendly ones. Some groups believe they're the spirits of ancestors, keeping watch over sacred lands. Others see them as trickster spirits that enjoy confusing travelers in the Australian Outback. But in some of the darkest interpretations, the Min lights are seen as malevolent entities that deliberately lead people away from safe paths, causing them to become hopelessly lost in the vast, unforgiving Outback. These Australian ghost stories often serve as warnings. One particularly chilling Aboriginal warning that's been passed down through generations is simple: if you see the Min light, don't follow it, or you'll never return. This warning isn't just superstition, it's practical survival advice. The Australian Outback is one of the harshest environments on Earth. Daytime temperatures can soar above 45 degrees Celsius, while nights can drop below freezing. Water is scarce, and the landscape can be disorienting even for experienced bushmen. If you follow a strange floating light and become lost, your chances of survival are slim. And that's exactly what some Aboriginal elders believe the Min lights want: to lure the curious to their deaths, adding to the dark side of Australian legends. A Kalkadoon elder from Mount Isa shared this perspective in a 2019 interview. "Our old people always told us that the Min lights are spirits that test you. They want to see if you're wise enough to stay on your path or foolish enough to follow them into the never-never." In some traditions, the lights are believed to be the spirits of those who died far from home and are trying to find their way back. Others see them as guardian spirits that watch over sacred sites, warning away those who shouldn't be there. But regardless of the specific interpretation, one thing is consistent across Aboriginal perspectives: the Min lights are powerful, they're ancient, and they're not to be trifled with. They are a significant part of Aboriginal legends and Australian folklore. Over the years, there have been some truly remarkable encounters with the Min lights that have made their way into Australian folklore and documented Australian mysteries. One of the earliest documented European accounts comes from 1838, when explorer Thomas Mitchell wrote in his journal about a strange, luminous phenomenon that followed his expedition for several nights as they traveled through what is now Western Australian Outback. In 1918, the same year the Min Hotel burned down, a mail carrier named Jack Geiger reported being followed by a ghostly light for over 20 kilometers as he made his run between Boulia and Behaviour. According to Geiger, the light kept pace with his horse no matter how fast or slow he rode. Fast forward to 1957, and we have the case of the Longreach doctor. Dr. George Simpson was driving back from a remote house call when a bright yellow-white light appeared alongside his car. It paced him for nearly 30 minutes before suddenly accelerating ahead and vanishing. Dr. Simpson, a scientifically minded man, was so disturbed by the experience that he documented this unexplained phenomenon in detail and submitted his account to the CSIRO. In 1978, a Royal Flying Doctor Service pilot reported seeing strange floating lights while flying over the Channel Country at night. The lights appeared to change direction and altitude in ways that ruled out stars, other aircraft, or ground lights, adding to the Outback mysteries. One of the most compelling modern cases occurred in 2010 when a team of geologists working near Boulia captured what they believed to be min-min lights on video. The footage shows several orbs of light moving independently across the night sky, occasionally appearing to respond to the team's shouts and flashlights. And then there's the 2018 road train driver who recorded nearly 15 minutes of footage showing a light following his vehicle along the Plenty Highway. The light maintains a consistent distance behind the truck, even as the vehicle changes speed and navigates bends in the road. Another compelling piece of evidence for this Australian mystery. These aren't just one-off sightings by unreliable witnesses. These are consistent reports, often by multiple witnesses simultaneously, describing the same unexplained phenomenon in remarkably similar terms across nearly 2 centuries of European documentation and thousands of years of Aboriginal legends. As you might expect, scientists have been trying to explain the min-min lights for decades, and there are several theories that might account for at least some of the sightings of these mysterious lights. The most widely accepted scientific explanation comes from neurologist Professor Jack Pettigrew of the University of Queensland. In 2003, Pettigrew published research suggesting that the min-min lights are actually a type of mirage, specifically a Fata Morgana. A Fata Morgana occurs when light from a distant source is bent and distorted by layers of air at different temperatures. In the case of the min-min lights, Pettigrew suggests that light from sources beyond the horizon, like car headlights, campfires, or even stars, could be refracted by temperature inversions common in the Outback, Australia, creating the illusion of floating lights much closer than their actual source. This could explain why the lights seem to follow vehicles. They might actually be the refracted headlights of a vehicle beyond the horizon moving in the same direction. Pettigrew even conducted experiments in the Channel Country to test his theory, successfully creating what appeared to be min-min lights by setting up light sources at specific distances. Another scientific explanation involves bioluminescence. The Outback is home to various bioluminescent fungi, insects, and even some birds that collect luminescent materials for their nests. Under certain conditions, these could create moving lights that might be mistaken for min-min lights. There's also the possibility of combusting marsh gas, or ignis fatuus, literally fool's fire, which occurs when methane and other gases from decomposing organic matter ignite. This phenomenon is known to create floating lights in marshy areas around the world. Some researchers have even suggested ball lightning as an explanation. Ball lightning is a rare atmospheric phenomenon where a sphere of lightning can persist for several seconds or even minutes, sometimes appearing to move intelligently. While still not fully understood by science, ball lightning has been documented worldwide and could account for some min-min light sightings. But here's the rub. While these scientific explanations like Fata Morgana, bioluminescence, marsh gas, ball lightning are plausible for some sightings, they struggle to account for all the reported behaviors of the min-min lights. How do mirages respond to sound? How does marsh gas follow a vehicle for 20 kilometers? How does ball lightning persist for hours? These questions keep the Australian mystery alive. And that's where we enter the realm of the truly unexplained phenomenon. For those who find the scientific explanations lacking, there's no shortage of alternative theories about what the min-min lights might be, feeding into paranormal Australian narratives. Some paranormal researchers suggest the lights could be a form of Earth energy or ley line activity, natural energy fields becoming visible under certain conditions. The Australian Outback, with its ancient geological formations and relative lack of human interference, could be a hotspot for such energies. These are popular themes in Australian supernatural discussions. Others propose that the lights are a form of conscious plasma, essentially a type of living energy that can respond to human thoughts and emotions. This might explain why the lights seem to react to human behaviors, like calling out or shining torches at them. And of course, there's the extraterrestrial hypothesis. Some ufologists believe the Min lights could be probes or monitoring devices from an advanced alien civilization, keeping tabs on human activity in remote areas. The lights' reported ability to move at incredible speeds, change direction instantly, and seemingly defy physics has led some to conclude they must be under intelligent control, making them a key part of Australian mysteries involving UFOs. There's also a more psychological explanation, that the Min lights are a form of mass hallucination triggered by the unique conditions of the outback. The vast emptiness, the silence, the extreme isolation, these could combine to create a state of heightened suggestibility where the human mind begins to see things that aren't there. This theory is supported by the fact that many sightings occur during long, monotonous drives through the Australian outback, when drivers are fatigued and their minds are seeking stimulation. But this doesn't explain the many cases where multiple witnesses see the same unexplained phenomenon simultaneously, or where physical evidence like video footage has been captured. Perhaps the most intriguing possibility is that the Min lights represent a phenomenon that science simply hasn't categorized yet, something that exists in the gap between our current understanding of physics and the true complexity of the natural world, a true outback mystery. After all, throughout history, many phenomena that were once considered supernatural have eventually found scientific explanations. Ball lightning itself was considered a myth by many scientists until relatively recently. Could the Min lights be the next mystery to move from Australian folklore to physics textbooks? If you're intrigued by the Min lights and fancy trying to spot them yourself, you're not alone. The mystery has become a significant draw for outback tourism, particularly around Boulia in the Queensland outback. The town of Boulia, with a population of just 300-odd people, has embraced its reputation as the Min light capital of Australia. The Min Encounter Centre offers visitors a theatrical experience that recreates the unexplained phenomenon using special effects and tells the stories of famous sightings. While the center itself is worth a visit, the real adventure is heading out into the surrounding Australian outback to try your luck at spotting the real thing, an authentic outback adventure. The best time to go Min hunting is during the dry season from May to September, when the skies are clear and the temperatures more bearable. The lights are most commonly reported along the Boulia-Winton Road, the Plenty Highway, and around the Diamantina River region, prime Travel Australia territory for mystery hunters. Local tour operators offer guided night tours to areas where the lights have been frequently spotted, though they're quick to point out there's no guarantee you'll see anything. The Min lights, like all good Australian mysteries, appear on their own schedule. If you're planning your own expedition, make sure you're well prepared for outback conditions. This is seriously remote country, and help can be hours away if things go pear-shaped. Take plenty of water, emergency supplies, and make sure someone knows where you're going. Essential for any outback adventure. And remember that Aboriginal legend warning. If you do see the lights, don't follow them. Admire them from a distance. Take photos if you can, but stay on the road and don't wander off into the darkness. Many visitors who've been lucky enough to witness the Min lights describe it as a profound experience. One tourist from Sydney who spotted the lights near Boulia in 2022 said, "It was like nothing I've ever seen before. This glowing orb just hanging there in the darkness, pulsing slightly. I'm not a superstitious person, but in that moment, I understood why people believe these lights are something supernatural. A true paranormal Australia encounter for some." Whether you're a skeptic looking to debunk the mystery, or a believer hoping for a supernatural encounter, the Min Min country offers one of Australia's most unique outback tourism experiences. So there you have it, mates, the mysterious Min Min lights of the Australian Outback. Are they mirages, Fata Morgana, marsh gas, ball lightning, bioluminescence, or something more mysterious? Are they ancient spirits warning us away from sacred places, as Aboriginal legends suggest? Or natural, unexplained phenomena we're only beginning to understand? The truth is, despite all our modern technology and scientific knowledge, we still don't have a definitive answer that explains all aspects of the Min Min lights. And perhaps that's part of their enduring appeal. In a world where it feels like everything has been explained and cataloged, the Min Min lights remain deliciously mysterious, a cornerstone of Australian folklore and outback mysteries. They remind us that Australia, particularly our vast, ancient outback, still holds secrets that defy easy explanation. They connect us to the wonder and sometimes fear that humans have felt when confronting the unknown since time immemorial. Part of the weird Australia charm. Whether you believe the Min Min lights are simply a quirk of atmospheric optics or something more supernatural, there's no denying they've woven themselves into the fabric of Australian folklore. They're part of what makes the Outback not just a geographical location, but a place of mystery and magic. So next time you're driving through the Australian Outback at night, keep your eyes peeled for that telltale glow on the horizon, those mysterious lights. But remember, if you see the Min Min lights, admire them from afar. Don't follow them into the darkness, or you might become part of the Australian legends yourself. Have you ever seen something strange like these ghost lights in the Australian night sky? Or do you have another Australian mystery you'd like me to explore? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Australia's most enduring outback mysteries, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Aussie Oddities, and share it with anyone who loves a good mystery or tales of paranormal Australia. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, but maybe keep your car doors locked too.